to the first guest speaker, our chief guest. Let me call upon our chief guest, Dr. T.P. Sasikumar, former Deputy Director, Director General of Security, Cabinet Secretariat, New Delhi, Scientist, Government of India, Space Department. Over to you, Dr. T.P. Sasirao. Thank you so much. We are eager to listen to you. Thank you.
Namaskaram. Namaskaram to all of you. We are all here under the umbrella of Vishwa Humanity United International Royal Council on the 9th day discussing about various SDGs, and today it is World how the United Nations want this world to have a sustenance in the industry, innovation and infrastructure. A beautiful initiative. I am here because Dr. Raja Rao Pagadipalli, though I have messaged him and tried to be in contact a few months back, I think today he came to me to put me on this platform. I understood that it is because Dr. Mandal referred me to him. I know Dr. Seema, a few months back we were on a platform and we had few discussions on the social issues and causes. Dr. Aruna is new to me. So I'm sure this is happening because of Dr. Caroline agreed for hosting this and putting me as part of this. If you ask me which part of SDG is important, I don't think anybody can answer a question like this, because when UNDP started long back, the United Nations wanted all the development to happen, everybody to be equal, everybody to be in equal stand footing. And that was a great hope. We have passed nearly 60-70 years. And the new definition of development with the SDG started almost 7 years back. And we are discussing that to understand what is SDG and different goals and popularizing it, looking at it, what can be done. I am sure another 8 more years will pass without happening much. Because if every country has its politics, United Nations has a bigger politics. And whenever there is the word development, exploitation is the other part of the coin. You cannot have development on one side and exploitation cannot happen. So if you look at 17 points, all the points are highly of concern. I am talking from India, in the center of India. If you look towards south, we have Sri Lanka burning with the problems. Look towards west, we have Pakistan totally unstable politically. And east is also not very safe. China have a lot of problems by themselves. And therefore, when you look at SDGs indexing, though the greatest wellness programs like yoga, meditation, all these are which India boasts upon. If you look at wellness index and happiness index of India is much worse than most of the other countries. So we don't know whether the meter and the scale is correct or the measurement is correct or the quantities are somewhere manipulated by somebody to look at world in a different manner. If your scale is wrong, I think every measurement goes wrong. No poverty was one of the greatest activity, even WTO, when India produces large wheat. Yesterday I was talking to somebody. When I went to US, I have seen lot of Indian books. Mahatma Gandhi's books are array of almaras, full of books on Indian books, Indian printed books. I was wondering and asking somebody why America got a lot of Indian books. Is it that India is giving a lot of knowledge to America? Then I found that a lot of wheat was sent from America to India, and we have to return with something else because WTO says that you have to send something back. And what we did is we printed a lot of books and sent it to them. In India, those books are not available. If you want, we have to buy it from America now, right? And today, what is happening? The wheat which comes to India, we have a lot of wheats. So what we do, we dump it in the Arabian Sea, and so that the fish can eat that, and then we export the fish back to that country. Got it? This is what, I don't know how many of you who are very serious about sustainable development and all this have seen two movies, Cowspiracy and Seaspiracy. If you have not seen, watch that movie. It was released last year and beautiful. It talks about, they are interviewing a lot of people who are in the United Nations organization, who are the seat of secretary level, assistant secretary level, deputy secretary level, and asking few questions. And they say, this is not in our agenda, don't ask these questions. They don't even want to look at those questions. So when talk about clean water, clean sanitation, energy, I don't know whether that is different from industry, innovation and infrastructure. How can you have a sustainable city and communities living together without industry, innovation and infrastructure in place? How can you have a climate action when industries are not in tandem with them? So if you look at all the 17 compartments which are all connected to same engine, it's only different compartments, but everybody is going into the same route. And what is that? They are all interlinked, and the direction is probably three directions. One is a social development, economic development and environmental development. That has become the focus of SDG. On one hand, getting the goal target may contribute in other part of the goal also to become realizable. Because if you have got good education, definitely innovation could become part of it. Because we believe in India, education is the portfolio of the goddess Saraswati. And innovation, research, is the portfolio for husband, Brahma. Our God system is very beautiful. Those who are not in India may not understand. We have husband and wife as gods, and wealth is there, action is the husband. Wealth is by Lakshmi, Vishnu is action. Education is Saraswati, and Brahma is for research. And meditation for Shiva, and energy, power for Shakti. So I am sure all these are related. So sustainable development goal, if some of them get realized, I am sure it impacts the other portions also. The targets are very high, and achieving them is not that simple, because we have another 8 more years to go. And if you look at the index in the last 1 or 2 years, there is a lot of statistics problems because the graph is totally toppled because of the COVID pandemic. It was not as stated, as predicted. We wanted to be in the club of the 5 greatest nations. India was trying for that. Probably if at all we achieve, it is by somebody else falling, not because India is growing. Right? But one advantage for India when compared to all other great nations, either in population or in economy or in industrial growth or development or education, the average age of India is 29 today. Whereas America is almost close to 45, UK is 40, and China is 38.5 or something. So India has got a great path forward because we are the largest number of youth and so powerful nation. The global manufacturing output, if you look at it, India has only 3% of the whole globe, whereas China has got almost close to 28, 29, I think. United States has got almost half of it, maybe around 17, I think. And maybe Germany and Japan is in between. So there are 5 nations who are the major. Then South Korea, Italy and all is almost like Indian status. But if you look at, there is a large difference between China, United States in the 28 or 29 to 16 to 17, and the rest comes only less than 1 digit, 7.5 for Japan. So what is to be understood here, the natural resource is not being used by many people. The mechanization has not reached up to all the people because lot of transportation problems or the human power, most important problem. We had a great Swamiji who spoke in the United Nations Parliament of Religions. He said India has the biggest problem, that is Tushni Bhavam. Laziness is the biggest problem. And unless we make the people very active, I think the Global Innovation Index India is in a very bad state. It is the 50th rank. Probably in the infrastructure development so far happened, there are many countries in the list. India is also struggling to happen. It is all like a chicken or egg first. Infrastructure development goes, innovation happens, industry happens. And when industry happens, your economic index will become better. Therefore, education becomes better. The communication becomes better. Connectivity becomes better. So, India has a difficult problem because it is not the state, the central government, union government. The word central government itself is a bad word. It is not to be used. It says only the union government. The union government has only the control very less. Maybe the new changes which are happening like a GST and all that. Or maybe the World Economic Forum discussions are focusing towards what is going to happen, the 4th Industrial Revolution, in which India was a very strong stakeholder. So I think the SDG 9 cannot be discussed without referring to the World Economic Forum, wherein a lot of debates have happened. I am constantly following it. I gave at least a few lectures on the Industry Confederation and such institutions in different states to understand what can be done as part of infrastructure development. Probably we have lot of products. The other day I went to one of the farms. There are 4 acres of tomato, but they have not taken it from the ground. They allowed that to be rotten there. In the last pandemic for 1 year, probably I must have visited 10-20 farms. I have seen farmers don't want to transport it basically because the cost, one. More than that, the human capital which is to be used for making it to be in the palatable style, at least in a dabba which cannot make that tomato spoil, the cost is much higher than what can imagine for selling the tomato. You may not be able to get the labor cost, right? I was driving at different parts of Telangana. I stay in Hyderabad. So I have seen most of the places this is the problem. And we got 2 rains the last 2 weeks. All the small saplings what the people had, everything is drenched in water. We don't have good insurance for the farmers. And they don't even have mechanization for plowing their land also. They have to take it on rent. There is no government system to support. So I think the blah 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 will not work. There has to be a confederation of people who work together with the farmers. I am so happy that and what is being done by the Vishwa Manava people with the Royal Council, the United International Federations for the world peace, I think very, very essential, because one of the largest country who was food provider for the rest of the world, Ukraine, is suffering. Right? Yesterday I was addressing the insurance people, 700 of them in number in Bombay. So where is the guarantee that everybody insure and the whole nation collapses? For example, Ukraine, many people would have insured all their properties, but the insurance company itself has gone into dust. What will happen? So we are talking about security, investment, infrastructure development when a powerful country is trying to bombard the other part of the world. So these are the things probably happened very recently. So we need to see the sustainable development goal in this light. I can add many more points, but I think it is not right on my part to extend more than this. Namaskaram, thank you, pranams, and best wishes to this initiative of discussing all this in detail. Thank you, thanks a lot. God bless you all.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Dr. T.P. Sachirao, and it was a pleasure listening to you, where you really touched upon the real facts that we, as the related to sustainable development goals, were equally important. Not one or two are important. Overall, all the 17 goals are equally important for us to achieve the development of a country or a nation. Very, very important. And how beautifully explained the relativity of our Indian gods and goddesses. Yes, that really, really makes, our Indian people will definitely connect to that. That was really good. So let us all, as our chief guest mentioned, let us all use more of natural resources, and the best part was, let us all be active and bring actions into ourselves. That is what he meant. And lovely listening to you.